Hello and welcome to another video. It's been a while as usual, but I thought I'd give you another update on how things are going on my journey. And I'm also curious how many people are actually still learning to code these days, because learning to code I think is a very different exercise now than it was when I started about almost 5 years ago now. And I'm just curious, is it still an industry that people are going into? Are people still excited to get into it and become software engineers? Is it still as shiny and alluring as it used to be? I have no idea, because I'm no longer sort of in that space of, like the Discords and the Odin project and things like that, where there were lots of other people learning to code. I have no idea. My finger is not on that pulse anymore. However, I'm assuming that people are still interested. And that's why I'm making this video, and will continue to do so now and then. So largely my work now, I'm 4.5 years in as a professional, and things are going very well, albeit the industry has changed a ton with the introduction of LLMs, AI, if you want to call it that, and essentially Claude Code is what we use at work for the most part. I'm very lucky. My company is AI forward and gives us a lot of opportunities and bandwidth to experiment with AI and basically just leverage all of the tools that we have available to us to become more productive. That's what it's all about. It's not about replacing people. It's not about anything other than, here is a tool that's going to make people more productive, and we should use it because we want to become more productive, and if we don't, then our competitors will, and that is a significant risk. So to me, it makes complete sense to be investing fully into AI if you are a software engineering company, or SaaS, software engineering based company. There may be some industries where it's less of a risk, but I think for the most part, most companies are kind of in an arms race on feature sets and value delivery to their customers. So most companies would gain from being faster at producing said feature sets and value. And really in a cutthroat niches, it is the make or break. So yeah, I mean, I'm coding. What am I doing every day now? I'm not handwriting code anymore. Honestly, I do not write a single lick of code anymore. And it's kind of sad, to be honest. It is kind of sad. I really do miss those days where I had to handwrite code and solve a problem that gave you the eureka moment, the dopamine hit of, oh my God, that was really hard and I managed to solve it. Those days are largely gone. Now, a lot more of the problem solving goes into sort of architectural decisions. How do we structure this thing? Because you're able to take on a lot more now in a shorter amount of time. So you are having to think more architecturally, bigger picture, how things piece together, how things will be maintainable, etc. So it has changed. I don't handwrite code anymore. I may write 1 or 2 lines per week out of, say, 1,000 lines per week, just because Claude is very good at writing things. Now, it doesn't mean to say anyone could do it, because that's for sure not the case. 100% not the case. You still need to be able to read code. I read a lot more code than I used to. So that's the flip side. Yes, I write a lot less, but I read way more. And with reading, you obviously need comprehension, you need understanding. I'm reviewing a lot more of my own code. I'm reviewing a lot more of my colleagues' code. And so, you still need to know the fundamentals in order to put out good things that scale and are maintainable. I still think that there is a lot of room left for software engineering as a practice, as a skill, as a value, until my mother or someone's grandmother can sit down and prompt Claude to do the work that I do on a daily basis and produce good results. I'm not at all concerned about being replaced, because coding is just like words. We've all had access to words in history. We've all had access to many books in the library. We've all had access to many ways to consume and form words. But Only those that are skilled at actually doing it are the people that sell their words in the form of content, whether it be books, textbooks, whatever. You still need to know how to structure those things, how to tell a story, how to narrate things. It's just very similar with code in terms of writing something that is connects well with other code and is going to be maintainable and scalable and all the rest of it. Like I've already said, it's a skill, and you're not going to be able to do that at scale without having some experience in actually doing it at scale and learning from people who have done it before you, and going through the motions, going to the mental gym and building those reps. I really don't know how people today are actually learning how to code unless they completely ignore AI when they are writing or generating code. I think today, if you are using LLMs, AI, to generate your code, you're really not learning very much. You may be learning a fraction. I don't know what percentage it would be, because I haven't, I'm not in that position. But I am of the opinion you're only learning a fraction of what people who used to handwrite their code, who became good developers, software engineers, have learned in their first few years, writing their own code entirely. I just don't think you're able to do it. It's like using AI is just like going to the gym and having a little machine pushing on the bench press for you. So yeah, you think you're benching 215, but you got this little machine helping you. You're only pushing 50 pounds. You're still a little weak man, and you're not able to do anything by yourself. And when that day comes along that you actually need to bench 215, you won't be able to do it. And that's the difference. That's why software engineers will always have a place, at least with the current technology, all things equal, because they will be able to bench 215 when someone who never got in the gym and put up real reps won't, and it will show very quickly. But you may be able to hide quite a long time behind AI. It is definitely an equalizer and a democratizer of technical skill to a degree. So yeah, any of you learning out there, I'm curious how you're doing it. How are you doing it? And anyone who's landing jobs, how are you doing it? I think you still need to be doing things that are impressive. Anyone can go to Claude and be like, hey, build me a to-do app. You actually need to be solving real world problems now. And that is kind of where the rubber hits the road, is can you turn other people's problems into real questions that you then answer with code and add value with code? If you're able to do that, then I think you'll have value out there still. Even if you don't have the greatest technical chops, because you've outsourced a lot of your technical ability to Claude. And I will admit, I do that sometimes, but I generally try not to, because I'm conscious of it. But even if you do that, I still think you have value, because what people care about more now with AI being on the scene is, can you add value to the end users at the end of the day in a safe, performant, scalable manner, and in a shorter time frame, and in an effective time frame compared to other people out there. If you can do that, then you have value in this industry. So now more than ever, I think you all know this, it's more about your product understanding and your ability to navigate challenging problems through to the solution quickly than it is pure technical skill. This industry used to be gatekept by those with technical skill in a significant way. That's no longer the case, and that favors people like me. I've never been the most technical person in the room, but I'm certainly a doer. I get things done quickly and very well, and I understand problems, the people side of things, working well with other people, communicating well, identifying friction in processes, making process improvements. And also technically, I'm not a slouch, but I'm certainly was never the most technical when I think back to school or university. But I think now it favors more the jack of all trades, the people that are good at doing many things and are good at learning new things, applying new skills. those people are going to accelerate and excel more than those that just rest on their technical abilities as their laurels and sit on that as their assets. Anyway, yeah, I'm enjoying it so far still. It's definitely different, just taking it for what I can get. What else could I really say? One thing I've learned too is that wherever you work, whatever job you get, it's very rarely perfect. Very rarely. There's always going to be problems because you're working with other people. Chances are those other people don't always think and act the same way that you do. There's always compromises, there's always differences. But you've definitely got to take stock of where you are and compare it to whatever data you have. So in my case, past jobs, comparing my present to my past. And even if something isn't perfect, it's valuable to know when something is good, because perfect probably doesn't exist. And therefore, learning which hills to die on is also very important. I was giving this feedback or advice to someone I was kind of mentoring the other day. He was frustrated by something specific, and I'm like, look, you can own some of that and try and solve that problem. And if it's an ongoing thing, then raise it. But at the same time, how is this place treating you? Good, okay. Therefore, don't push things too early, too soon. Give it some time, and be really certain before you commit to certain hills that you want to die on. I think that's just useful advice. It's definitely something I've made a mistake on in the past, jumping headlong into something very quickly. Something being just disputes with people. You think you have the right answer, you get stubborn, you get blinded by, I don't know what it is, thinking you're more important than perhaps you might actually be. And that there is a lot of value in being perceived as someone enjoyable to work with. And this doesn't mean bend the knee in every case. I think some of the best people I've worked with have been enjoyable, are also people who are not afraid to speak up, but they do it diplomatically, they do it cautiously, they do it respectfully. And honestly, the reason I'm talking about this is because these are the new skills that are becoming more and more important in the age of AI. Because, like I said, the technical skill is no longer is now less of a gatekeeping kind of hinge point. You've got to be good at other things. So that's something to be very aware of when you're trying to sell yourself, market yourself to any potential employers as well, is your ability to just move the dial, create change, influence other people. All of these really important soft skills that are not tested by LeetCode. Because let's face it, AI can do LeetCode pretty well these days. There is absolutely no point in doing LeetCode interviews anymore. It's absolutely pointless. That's my opinion anyway. Anyway, I better get rolling here. Call my dog in, let's see if she'll come. Three whistles, but here she comes. Oh, she stopped. Come on. Cheeky dog, need to work on that recall.